Hello, in this video we will discuss how we can configure OSPF intra-area and inter-area. So guys, this is the topology. Like you can see, we have R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. We have five routers in total. So between every pair of router, I'm running a network. Like between 1 and 2, I'm running 12's network. Between 2 and 3, I'm running 23's network. Between 3 and 4, I'm running 34's network. Between 4 and 5, I'm running 45's network. And IP address on the interface will be equal to the router number. Like on R2 interface, IP will be dot 2, like here 23.112 and here 12.112. If I talk about R3, it will be 23.113 and 34.113. On R4, 34.114. On R4 this side, it will be 45.114. On R5, IP will be 45.115. So these will be the IP addresses. Now here we will use one more thing, that is loopback. So like you can see, there is no LAN visible. As you can see, it is not visible to us. No LAN network is visible to us. So we will create a loopback on router for testing purpose. So loopback will work like that there is an existing network behind R1 and this particular network want to reach these particular networks. So every router will have a loopback. So loopback simply means every router has a network. You can assume it as a LAN network. So this is 1.1.1.1. Here we have 2.2.2.2. Here we have 3.3.3.3. Here we have 4.4.4.4. Here we have 5.5.5.5. So we can assume these loopbacks as the LAN network. Now let me start with IP addressing. Interface loopback 1 IP address 1.1.1.1. Sorry. So let me check the interfaces. So two interfaces are configured. So let me use the section keyword. So with the help of section keyword, we can minimize the output. I want to see the interfaces. Sorry, I have to use the keyword exclude. So now router will give us the output. It will exclude all the lines which have keyword unassigned. It means all the interfaces on which IP address is not assigned, they are no more visible to us. So we can see here the selective output that we want. On R2 again, let's create a loopback. IP address on the interfaces. R3 again, first of all, I will create a loopback. IP address 23.113, 34.113. Do show IP interface brief. So again, I can get the selective output by excluding the keyword unassigned. Again, loopback 1 IP address. It's not like you have to always configure interface with loopback number 1. You can use any loopback number. 34. So again, do show, sorry, IP interface brief, exclude unassigned. So still one interface is left. 45.114. Now we are configuring R5. Interface FS0 by 1, no shut, IP address 45.115. To show IP interface brief, exclude unassigned. So you can see we have configured the IP addresses on the devices. Now let me tell you how OSPF is there. So between R1 and R2, or you can say this domain is area 10 and this domain is area 0 and this domain is area 20. So if we talk about that how R1 will be learning networks of R2 because 2.2.2 will be member of area 10. So for R1, 2.2.2 is a intra-area network. But for R1, the networks which belong to area 0 will be inter-area networks. So let me configure OSPF end to end and show you the output. I will configure 2.2.2 in area 10 and 4.4.4 in area 20. So let me show you. So to configure OSPF, go in global configuration mode, run the command router OSPF. After that, we have to specify a process ID. So let's say I'm using router number as the process ID. So router OSPF1 network. So there are two networks, one is 12.1.1.0. After that, we have to specify the wildcard mask 0.0.0.255 area 10. Next network will be the loopback 1.1.1.0, 0.0.0.255 area 10. So do show IP OSPF interfaces. Okay, brief keyword also I'm adding. So you can see on both the interfaces OSPF is enabled on loopback 1 also and on fast Ethernet 0/0 also. Process ID is 1 and area ID is 10. So this is actual the cost. Cost is calculated on the basis of bandwidth of link. Next, let's configure on R2. So as we know, R2 is member of area 10 also and area 0 also. So I will go to router OSPF2 network 12.1.1.0 0.0.0.255 area 10. Next 2.2.2.0 0.0.255 area 10. As I told you, loopback of R2 will be advertised in area 10. And last network is 23.1.1.0 0.0.0.255 wildcard mask for slash 24 area 0. So this leg of R2 is in area 0 where you can see this leg and the loopback network are member of area 10. So let's not wait. Let's come on R1 show IP OSPF neighbor. So you can see R1 has full neighborship with R2. So 2.2.2 is router ID of R2. So I think we all remember the concept of router ID. So whenever we enable OSPF on the router, router will elect router ID. Now, first of all, router will check, do we have manually specified the router ID? If no, then router will select highest loopback address as router ID. So we can see here on R2 there is only one loopback that is 2.2.2.2. That's why it is selected as router ID. And neighborship is always formed on the basis of router ID. So check show IP OSPF route on R1. Sorry, the command is show IP route OSPF on R1. So you can see here I'm getting two networks. One is 2.2.2.2 that is member of area 10 itself. So router is showing me O. O means intra area route. Whereas you can see the 23's network which is member of area 0 on R2. So R2 is giving me information of area 0 network. In which area? In area 10. So this network is IA. IA stands for inter area network. This is AD value for OSPF and this is the cost to reach these networks. So cost is basically cumulative in nature. So whatever is the total cost of the path will be cost to reach that particular network. So let's move to R3 now. Now we know here that on R3 we just want to configure area 0 on all the interfaces, whether it is loopback or it is 34's network or it is 23's network. So what I can do, it is a shortcut router OSPF3 network 0.0.0.0.0.0 area 0. So what do you mean by 0.0.0.0? It simply means on all the interfaces, or you can say on all the enabled interfaces. To R4. So in this case, if you remember, we discussed the concept of ABR. The router which is connected to a normal area and to area 0 is called ABR. So in this scenario, we have two ABRs. This is ABR 1, R2, which is connected to area 10 and area 0. Here we have R4 also. This is ABR 2, which is connected to area 20 and area 0. So first of all, area 20 network information will come in area 0, then it will be forwarded to area 10. In a similar way, area 10 information will be forwarded to area 0, then it will be forwarded to area 20. And same area networks are called intra-area and different area networks are called inter-area. You can also check routing table to find out which network is intra-area and which network is inter-area. Now let's back to the configuration. Router OSPF4 network 34.110.0.0.0.255 area 0. Next network is 4.4.4.4 sorry 0.0.0.255 area 20. Next network is 45.110.0.0.255 area. So on R4 we have configured this particular network in area 0 and the loopback and 45's network in area 20. Now let's move to R5 router OSPF5. As we know, we want to configure all the networks on R5 in area 20. So I will do the shortcut here network 0.0.0.0 area 20. So let's wait for some time so that adjacency would come up. Then we will verify the results. But on R1, we will be able to see some of the results like we can see multiple networks on R1. I can see loopback of R2 also that is present as O. O means intra area and all other networks. I can compare it here with the topology whether it is 23's network or it is 34's network or it is 45's network 23s, 34, 45, all are present as inter area. Inter area means these network belongs to different area. And different area networks are always provided by a router called ABR, Area Border Router. So to provide inter area information, ABR generates summary LSAs. So actually in case of OSPF, we have databases. So we have type 1, type 2, type 3 different types of LSAs and for inter-area communication we use type 3 LSAs. These are also called summary LSAs. So if you remember we discussed that OSPF is a link state routing protocol but link state nature of OSPF remains in a single area. If we talk about inter-area, OSPF is distance vector in nature. It means one area router don't have topology information of other area. They just have networks that belong to other area. And all those networks are advertised by a router called ABR. So maybe now I'm able to see all the networks on R1. You can see I'm able to see all the networks. So except 2.2.2.2, all networks are inter-area. So if you want to check on R1 who is ABR, you can run the command show IP OSPF border routers. So we can see 2.2.2 is a ABR, and this is my cost to reach ABR. So let me tell you the concept of cost also. For example, for R2, this is ABR. So let's move to R2. So for example, let's choose a network. That network is 34. So concept is show IP route 34110. So you can see cost of R2 to reach 34th network is 20. This is cost of R2 to reach this network. This is 20. Now what will be the cost of R1? What is the cost of R1 to reach ABR? That is 10. So R1 is reaching ABR with a cost of 10. So total cost of R1 to reach this network will be 10 plus 20. That will be 30. So let's check it in routing table. So you can see here to reach 34th network, cost is 30. So we actually don't know where this network exists in area 0. We just know that this particular network is advertised by ABR in our area 10. So we don't have topology information of different area routers. So guys, like this, we can check routing table on R5 also. Show IP route OSP. So you can see except 4.4.4 all are inter area routes, but this is O means intra area. So let's move to ABR. Show IP route OSPF. So if you check on R2, this network, okay, 34th network or 12th network, because these are directly connected, they are not learned via OSPF. But if you check the loopback of R3, 34th network or 1.1.1, all are intra area, because for R2 is member of area 10 also and area 0 also. But if you see networks of area 20 on R2, you will get them as inter area. Fine. So this is the whole concept behind intra area and inter area routes. So guys, in this video, we have seen how we can configure OSPF intra area and inter area operations. Thank you.